is I wanted to stand up for my gay brother, to protect his freedom to marry the person that he loves. Having lived here my whole life, I know Granite Staters stand on the side of strong families. I also know this great state doesn't take away freedoms. From a vote to the People's Representatives almost 2 years ago, and every reputable poll out this year, the Granite State supports marriage. 2 days ago, Republican Representative David Bates and his supporters on the Judiciary Committee did not heed this call. They disregarded the will of the people, including some of their constituents, despite the fact that 62% of people in the Granite State support this. What's interesting about Tuesday's vote was that the Bates proposal didn't even pass with the majority necessary to override the governor's veto. This tells us pretty clearly that there is a united bipartisan front against repeal. Make no mistake, the Bates Amendment is not a compromise. And I'm going to say that again. The Bates Amendment is not a compromise. Where would there be a need to compromise when the majority of Granite Staters want marriage? The only reason I can come up with is to enshrine in law the anti-gay views of a few. This amendment is also not worth the paper that it is written on. It's bad for families and it's bad for the freedom of the people in New Hampshire. Fortunately, there is a lot to be optimistic about. My entire family expects that one day when my brother Calvin is ready to get married, that he'll do it right here in New Hampshire, whether it be next year or 10 years from now. Today, I have the privilege of introducing our Leadership Council, composed of business leaders and grassroots leaders who are ready to stand up for New Hampshire families and oppose scrapping the law. The council will recruit their friends, family, and other business and civic leaders in the state to get engaged in the campaign and to speak one-on-one with their legislators. The council's charge is to demonstrate the deep and intense bipartisan support that keeps resonating in all the polls. In fact, we anticipate this to be one of the most intense grassroots efforts that New Hampshire has ever seen. We certainly got off to a good start with the 700 people that showed up in the House of Representatives in February. Now I want to introduce our panel of speakers this morning. We have Irina Goddard, who is the chairman of the Hopkinton Republican Town Committee, Rick Rushman, who is a former state senator and founder of Conservation New Hampshire, Alex Ray, who is the businessman and owner of Common Man Family Restaurants, and Dan Enos, who is the dean of the Whitmore School of Business and Economics at UNH. Thank you, and I'm going to hand things over to Irina.
My name is Irina Goddard. I have served on the Concord City GOP Committee. I've also served as the Central New Hampshire Federated Women's Club chairman, and currently I'm the chairman of the Hopkinton Republican Committee. I am a Republican because I strongly believe in small government that focuses on protecting life, liberty, and property. I am a Republican that relentlessly scrutinizes any legislation that takes away people's liberty. I am a Republican who was born in communist Czechoslovakia and remembers laws that forced one cookie cutter for all, and those that may have been in the minority were on the wrong side of the law. Misguided legislators are using ridiculous scare tactics to push a social agenda, and I resent having a social order and agenda be pushed on myself and my neighbors. I'm a Republican whose 8-year marriage is by no means threatened by the current New Hampshire marriage law. I am a Republican who wants our state legislature to focus on fiscal issues and an economy, because that is my #1 priority. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Rick Rushman from Kingston. I was in the state senate here for 10 years. I was a Republican and still am a proud Republican, actually. Repealing marriage equality in New Hampshire is bad business, plain and simple. A repeal will result in lost wages and higher insurance and legal costs for businesses that have made necessary changes when gay marriage was For a state that relies so heavily on tourism, why would we even consider sending a message to potential visitors that we welcome some families but not all families? Turning our backs on same-sex couples impacts our economy for sure. More importantly, it's just plain wrong. The economic advantages of keeping our current law intact are compelling, and there are several studies that state so and prove so. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here because I cannot sit idly by while legislators who were sent to Concord to improve our economy, provide jobs, and fix our budget have instead made it their priority to turn back the clock on social issues. I love this state, and I am proud that New Hampshire cares about family values and values all families. Let's keep it that way and give everybody the chance to have the life they want. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alex Ray, and I run a family of restaurants called The Common Man in New Hampshire. I'm not in the restaurant business, I'm in the hospitality business. Hospitality is an interesting word. I think of it as a friendly reception of all guests and strangers. Key word is all. I'm also in the tourism business. That's a very big part of New Hampshire's economy, the biggest. Repealing this will do real damage to our state economically, but more importantly, what I like to, didn't coin, but appreciate, the New Hampshire advantage. I don't want to sell our soul or impose our beliefs, or some people's beliefs. I want to welcome all to New Hampshire. We run our business by doing well and doing right, and I think this this effort to repeal is doing wrong. So please appreciate the state we have and what we have to offer. Don't close the door to some for personal beliefs of a few. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Dan Ennis, and I'm married to someone I love. Doug Pilardi and I were joined in a civil union in 2009. We converted it to marriage in 2010. We love one another, and we're committed to continuing to build a life together. We co-own the Ale House Inn in Portsmouth, also in the hospitality business, and Doug does a great job of running that business. Under his leadership, we've built a great urban boutique inn, and we're contributing a great deal of money to the state coffers through the rooms and meals tax, through money we spend for supplies and materials, and for an extensive renovation of the property that took nearly 2 months. Our business has grown dramatically to the benefit of our employees and the other businesses around us. And I'm the Dean of the Whittemore School of Business and Economics at UNH. It's a job that I love, and it's my duty to help UNH to continue to deliver high-quality business education and great graduates that will help New Hampshire to stop the brain drain and continue to be an economic standout in New England. I'm also on the board of directors of the Portsmouth Chamber of Commerce. I understand business in our state. One of the things that makes New Hampshire so special for all of us is the state motto, live free or die. All we want is to live free, just like everyone else. All we want is to have equality with fellow citizens, to be respected, to be able to love, and to be able to make our city and our state a better place through our contributions to business, education, and our very communities. No one has been hurt by my marriage to Doug. No one will be hurt by our union, or the unions of thousands of other same-sex couples. What would hurt is taking away a right. That's not the New Hampshire way. Today, gays and lesbians in New Hampshire finally feel as though they're a part of the broader community. We belong. We're treated equally. And every day when I wake up and Doug wakes up and we get ready to go to work, we feel very fortunate. We're fortunate to work with the leaders of tomorrow. I'm fortunate to work with a great team of faculty, staff, and we're both fortunate to live in a state that treats us as equal members of society. Don't take away that equality. Doug and I love New Hampshire. We also want to be recognized for what we are, a loving couple joined in marriage. Marriage equality isn't politics. It's a matter of freedom and independence. It's about the very values that make New Hampshire unique. So let us all live free. Thank you.
that you're going to do, I mean, besides the news conference, are you planning any kind of TV ads? Are you planning, what kind of rollout are you planning?
We're happy to take some questions. My name is Tyler Deaton, D-E-A-T-O-N. I'm a spokesman for Standing Up for New Hampshire Families. To address your question, right now what we're doing is we're working at the grassroots level to build support. And I think what's amazing about what Standing Up for New Hampshire Families is doing is how authentically bipartisan that this is. You have people from across the political spectrum who are uniting to say that repeal of the freedom to marry is wrong. And even just within the Republican Party, you can see a sampling of liberty activists and Tea Party activists and people from the old guard, people from the new guard, who are all uniting to say that this is a bad idea, and they're going to stand with the 62% of people in this state who oppose the repeal.
So when you say grassroots, Tyler, what do you mean?
I mean that we've got people working, for example, we are already operating our phone banks, and we have activists, including Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, coming to those phone banks, calling their representatives, and that's been an amazing thing already. We were geared up for the previous committee vote, and I believe that Standing Up for New Hampshire Families has already been able to make a difference.
Are you optimistic that you can stop this bill from passing the legislature next year?
Well, it's a complicated question as far as passing the legislature, because it's really two components. One is, will it pass with a majority? But the other question is, Governor Lynch has already been exceptionally clear that he will veto any attempt to repeal or roll back the rights of same-sex couples. With that being the case, I think what we're having to look for is, will the House have the ability to pass this bill, HB 437, with a 2/3 supermajority? At the committee level, a committee, the Judiciary Committee, which is conservative, it had 13 Republicans and only 4 Democrats. That bill was beaten with more than a 1/3 minority. So already at the committee level, they've been unable to put together a coalition of 2/3 support. And I think that as we move toward January, again, the polling is what it is. This is a political reality here in New Hampshire, that the voters in this state are, one, opposed to repeal. Number two, they're opposed to even discussing repeal because it's so off focus from the real economic concerns facing our state. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming today. Thank all of you.